There is a feeling that millions of people carry every single day, but almost nobody talks about it openly. It is not depression exactly. It is not sadness exactly. It is something quieter and in many ways more unsettling than either of those. It is emptiness. The feeling of going through your days, doing all the right things, checking all the right boxes, living what looks from the outside like a perfectly functional life, and feeling inside like something essential is missing. Like there is a hollow space at the center of everything that nothing you try quite manages to fill. If you know this feeling, if you have known it for a long time, Buddha had something very specific to say about it. And it is not what most people expect to hear. The first thing Buddha would tell you is that the emptiness is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a signal, one of the most important signals your inner life will ever send you. It is your soul's way of telling you that the life you are living on the surface is not yet aligned with the life you are meant to be living at depth. That the roles you are playing, the worker, the partner, the child, the provider, the person who has it together, are not yet connected to the authentic, unfiltered, genuinely alive version of you that exists beneath all those roles. The emptiness is not an enemy. It is a compass, and it is pointing inward. Buddha observed that most people respond to this emptiness by trying to fill it from the outside. More entertainment, more achievement, more social media, more food, more alcohol, more shopping, more of everything that provides momentary relief but never actually addresses what is hollow at the center. Because the hollow at the center is not a deficit of external things. It is a disconnection from your own inner life, from your own depth, from your own genuine self. And you cannot fill an internal emptiness with external things, no matter how much you accumulate, no matter how many distractions you find. The emptiness will still be there in the quiet moments, which is precisely why most people are so desperately afraid of quiet moments. The second teaching is about what Buddha called right livelihood, but in its deepest sense. Not just the work you do for money, but the overall direction of your life. Whether what you are spending your days on actually aligns with what you genuinely value at your core. Most people discover, when they are honest enough to examine it, that there is a significant gap between how they are spending their time and what they actually care about most deeply. They are spending their most alive hours on things that feel obligatory rather than meaningful. On other people's definitions of success. On performances for audiences that do not genuinely know them. And this gap between the life being lived and the life that is meant is where the emptiness lives. The practice Buddha prescribed for closing this gap begins with the most honest question you will ever ask yourself. If nobody was watching, if there were no social media, no judgment, no expectations from family or culture, what would you do with your days? What would you create? What would you pursue? What would you build? What kind of person would you be? The answers to those questions are not a luxury fantasy. They are a map of your authentic values. And the degree to which your actual life diverges from those answers is the degree to which the emptiness will persist. The third teaching is about the difference between pleasure and meaning. Buddha was not opposed to pleasure. He was not a joyless ascetic demanding that people suffer in the name of spirituality. He understood that pleasure has genuine value, but he also observed, with great precision, that pleasure and meaning are completely different things, and that a life oriented entirely toward pleasure, toward comfort, toward entertainment, toward the avoidance of difficulty, will always feel empty. Because human beings are not built for a life of pure comfort. They are built for challenge, for growth, for contribution, for the particular satisfaction that comes from doing something difficult and doing it well, from creating something real, from being genuinely useful to other people, from growing into a version of yourself that yesterday could not have managed. The emptiness you feel is your growth calling you. It is the unlived life knocking on the door of the life you are currently living. It is the deeper version of you,
The version that has things to say, things to create, things to contribute, ways of being in the world that are more honest and more alive than the version currently on display. Asking to be acknowledged. Asking to be given space. Asking to be allowed to breathe. And the final teaching is the most important one. Buddha said, the middle path. Not the extreme of total renunciation, not the extreme of endless indulgence. The path that involves genuine engagement with life, with its joys and its difficulties, its pleasures and its pains, its achievements and its failures, while maintaining an inner life of depth, honesty, and genuine presence. Emptiness does not require you to abandon your life. It requires you to go deeper into it, to bring more of your real self to everything you do, to close the gap, gradually, consistently, courageously, between the life being lived and the life that is genuinely yours. That closing of the gap, that slow, brave, daily movement toward a life that is more honest, more present, more genuinely you, is the most meaningful work a human being can do. And the emptiness, the very thing you have been trying to escape, is your most reliable guide for exactly how to do it. Save this and share it with someone who has been living with this quiet emptiness for too long. Subscribe to Tathagata Wisdom, because every single day we bring you the wisdom that helps you find your way back to the life that was always meant to be yours.